Call to order February 22nd, and I'll Sylva Board of Commissioners meeting. Welcome to everybody. First thing on our agenda is to approve the agenda. None motion to do so.
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed, by like sign, motion carries. We also need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, there's a motion. Do we have any discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Opposed, by like sign, and the motion carries. Next thing is comments. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment? Mr. Luke Jones.
First of all, what I'm speaking on is the solicitation ordinance that was passed last night. I appreciate the fact that town council passed it. I realize it was a contentious situation, but the way I look at it is that you have to move forward. You can always go back and change things later on. I would hope that now that we have a solicitation ordinance, that the town will also be as proactive in looking into what we can do to do away with the conditions in town which cause that solicitation. If we have people who are panhandling on a regular basis, maybe we need to look into some way of helping. I will leave you with a quote from James Madison in the Federalist Papers, because I think you need to look at this anytime that you are talking about passing an ordinance or a law of any kind. He stated, all new laws, though penned with greatest technical skill and passed on the fullest and most mature deliberation, are considered as more or less obscure and equivocal until their meaning be liquidated and ascertained by a series of particular discussions and adjudications. Anything that you do can be changed. And you need to keep that in mind. If you don't necessarily agree with something that's being passed, it's possible to change it in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment? So, you want to do reports, or the mayor's report? I guess the most meaningful thing between meetings for me was going to the municipal government training class, and it was very enlightening for me. I learned a lot of things that I wish I had known in a couple of meetings prior to. So it was very much a learning experience for me, and I hope it was for everyone else. And I should on to Ms. Mary.
On Tuesday, I attended the quarterly library board meeting as the town's representative, and I just wanted to make some folks aware of some things that are happening at our local library. They have a digital inclusion grant that allows opportunities for folks that are homebound or just anyone in the community that needs help with their electronics. So cell phones, computers, tax preparation. There is opportunities at our library for assistance with that. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays right now through tax season, AARP and one other organization, I'm drawing a blank on the name, are offering tax assistance. So you do have to have an appointment. During the library board meeting, it was pretty cool that there was no parking available. And it's because so many people in our community are taking advantage of this opportunity. So it's Pisgah Legal and AARP. And so Tuesdays and Wednesdays by appointment. If you need help, go to the library. Second thing is Nourishing Foods has a grant with the library where they're offering opportunities to make affordable meals with vegetables right now. So I think the classes are filling up as quickly as they're being offered, which is a blessing. So good opportunities for nourishing food in our community. Western Carolina University's Nutrition and Dietetics program is going to have a free meal on Wednesday, March 20th. They plan to have enough food available to feed 50 people. There's some really incredible items on the menu: falafel, tabbouleh, white bean soup, hibiscus tea, orange olive cake. So if anybody's looking for a free meal on Wednesday, the 20th, go to the library. Last thing is, you may already know this, but the library offers free notary services. They have quite a few of their employees that are notaries. They don't have anybody on Saturdays right now. But just from Tuesday through November, they did 140 transactions. It's a pretty good opportunity if you need to get anything notarized as far as the library. Last point, increase of attendance in the library. That's checking out books and people walking in for these programs has increased 12% since last year. So I think that's a win.
It is.
That's it.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. Just want to let everybody on the board know and staff, I think quite a few people already know that some of us are working together to look at overhead utilities on Mill Street. Kind of planning a walkthrough sometime pretty soon with Duke, Frontier to figure out as part of the overhaul back up Mill Street, how we feel strongly that there's a lot of wires and things that are there that are no longer in use. So we first want to look at maybe getting some of those down. So if you see some of us walking around, looking up at buildings, that's what we're doing. Just want to let everyone know if you want to get involved with that. Just I can reach out to me because I'm kind of spearheading at least the scheduling of it at this point. And then something else I wanted to share is that next Tuesday at the Methodist Church in Cullowhee, there's a meet and greet for foster parents where people can learn from current foster parents, details of how things like that work. We have a pretty serious foster care challenge in our community. So if you or anyone you know might be interested in learning more about those opportunities, that's next Tuesday at the Methodist Church in Cullowhee at 5:30. Pretty sure that food and childcare are both provided. That's what I was told. This will be my first time attending it as well if I'm able, so I don't know all the details, but that's the gist of it.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. First of all, I don't know if anybody's been around Bryson Park lately. Jake, I'd like to commend you and your staff. I didn't realize how much property was over there. After you got all that evading foliage down, really looks good around there, and I can't wait to see new bushes and flowers and trees. So you and your staff, hats off. The only other thing I've had a couple of people ask, if there's something maybe we could do with our website and maybe on Facebook about town offices being closed and kind of a little different schedule of events, having people ask about garbage pickup. And some people might not have realized it was President's Day or on Monday or whatever. It's just a thought that people is asking me, and I just thought I'd bring it before the whole meeting. That's it. I'll add one thing to that. Brad brought this up, I think, last week, and I'm in total agreement that our website, we need to find a real friendly way for people to use that thing, look up things that they're interested in, like garbage pickup or whatever. But to hone in on what Brad was saying, I think we really need to get more informational with correct information about the 107 crossing. Totally agree. Yeah. Right. I'm sorry, please.
Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to see about getting a no tractor trailer street sign over at East Sylva Circle. At least on the south end of the circle. And if that road's off Skyland Drive. Somehow tractor trailers are being diverted out there by GPS. I think they're coming from paper.
Going to and coming from, it's been an ongoing issue.
And they're driving through people's yards, you know, getting going around the rock approach. See what we could do. At least on the south end.
Is that something that would require motion and vote, or can that just right there?
We can just put one up.
Good morning. Oh, sorry, Deb.
I'm sorry.
Good morning. I just have one thing since we won't meet again before this the conference. The Appalachian Studies Association's conference is in Cullowhee this year at Western Carolina University. And that's from March 7th through the 9th. This year is titled Beloved Community, Pride in Identity, Culture, and Geography. There'll be a lot of local people sharing about Appalachian culture. And they're expecting over 800 attendees. And they're seeking using the accommodations locally to us, as well as like downtown restaurant shopping. We expect them to come down and spend some time in Sylva, and surrounding areas. So you may see a little bit, more, traffic and people around about that weekend. And that's all I have to report this morning.
Excuse me, Ned, what was the date of it?
March 7th through the 9th.
Okay. Managers report.
Yes, good morning. So as you all know, we got a new website back in the fall and have been working on it. We had an extensive 107 section on it, but it got out of date and then we needed to update all the documents in a different format. So we have to go through a company for our website. So just please be patient with us as we work on that, but we do know that it needs to be updated to get all that information back up there. And a lot of that information did not originate in our office. So we're trying to get updated files from other agencies too. As far as budget update, departmental budget requests were due last week. Our next budget work session is March the 21st following the meeting. So please make sure you have that on your calendar. And you'll see a lot of progress happening at Bridge Park and the depot site in the upcoming weeks, but Jake will fill you in on those projects. And I want to thank you all for attending the Essentials of Municipal Government class. The course was helpful even for me, and I've been probably 4 or 5 times. I pick something up every single time I go, and I hope that you all did too. It was a lot of material all at once, but that kind of class really helps you be able to serve the citizens of Sylva better. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedules. And I'm still working to catch back up after being gone for a while. I'm so grateful for Richard for keeping everything moving and for the department heads. So you'll be getting more detailed reports from me, but we're straightening all that out. Okay.
Thank you very much. Public Works.
Good morning, everybody. We'll give some project updates here. Slope is approximately 90% revegetated at Allen Street. Pulled out silt fences and inlet protection. Civil Design Concepts is going to be scheduling the final soil and erosion control DEQ inspection so we can close that out. Once that permit's closed out, I'll be working with Lynn to get final payments made and get that contract closed out. So that's a big weight off the town of Sylva's shoulders right there. The bulk of that's done. Bryson Park updates. Bliss Incorporated is working on getting us a final concept based on the feedback that we received at both the public hearing and from discussions with you and discussions out in the community. That concept is going to reflect poured in place rubber. It's going to reflect a couple different pieces of equipment. It's going to reflect ADA accessibility. We'll put that in front of you at an upcoming meeting when that's been finalized. Picnic Pavilion, retained the services of Odell Thompson. Rather than just kind of writing a scope of work and have a contractor's price off of that, we're going to get a drawing from Odell, an architectural drawing. There's some real issues with the current floor plan inside the restrooms with ADA accessibility and compliance. So we're going to take a look at that. And also that drawing will help us get apples to apples pricing from contractors. Some things you can expect to see on the picnic pavilion: updated doors with time locks. That's going to be similar to what we have at our public restroom. Stainless steel fixtures, updated plumbing and electrical, recessed heaters, hand dryers and dispensers, a new metal roof on the building itself and gables, outdoor food preparation area there on the back side of the pavilion, new video surveillance equipment and signage, and new picnic tables and side furnishings as well. So that'll be part of that drawing. On to the downtown public restroom, change orders have come in on that one. We've encountered unsuitable soils for a building foundation right there. We had a geotechnical engineer this was not unexpected. We didn't know what was going to be under that old depot slab. So we've had a geotechnical engineer make a recommendation. We haven't gotten that report yet. It should be here today or tomorrow. Likely what'll happen is a 3-foot undercut for the footer areas and a 1-foot undercut for the slab areas on the inside. We're bringing about 50 tons of washed stone and firm all that up so we can get our foundation right. It's unclear how long this is going to delay the project. I don't think it'll be a substantial delay, but it has pushed us back at least a week at this time. But I'll keep the board updated as those changes come along. The bridge part similarly has also encountered some unsuitable soils, not due to water, mostly due to old rock and concrete being dumped subsurface many years ago. And I was about half expecting that as well. Fortunately, we won't have to haul in gravel there. It can just be a compacted fill dirt base. So they're gonna undercut all the unsuitable soil, haul in suitable fill, compact on 1-foot lifts, and keep right on trucking, and I don't expect that to be a delay. As far as the downtown street lights go, I've spoken with Duke's engineers. They have our request. They're putting the plan together and they're expecting a midsummer completion date on that. Any questions for me at this time? Go ahead, Natalie.
This is a little random, but I know there's a lot of digging happening. There's like by the depot and stuff, like who, if they find something that is like historical or like maybe an artifact, like are they held to like turn that over to the town or who owns that, I guess, the depot?
The town is the owner,
Okay.
well as lessee. Actually, let me retract that statement because we were leasing that property. Eric, can you comment on that?
Well, so the railroad owns it and we have a 99-year lease. As far as if they find like an artifact, that would be probably because that's already all been excavated out for the railroad to begin with. At the depot. So that's all been disturbed land.
Nothing as exciting as artifacts. We have found cross ties, bricks.
Bottles could be.
Anything else?
Did you have to write Buchanan and Sons as change orders for the unsuitable soils and fill back?
Our consultant, Equinox Environmental, wrote that. Thank you.
So, next on the hot seat, Mr. Hatton.
Morning, everybody. We did a little different board report last time, so I'll catch you up on what's happened really since about the beginning of the year. First of all, we attended Julie's, the celebration for Julie at the chamber. 25 years is a long time. That's really cool. We work in partnership with them a lot more probably than you think, and we definitely appreciate Julie. So just want to kind of throw that out there real quick. Convention Library, thank you for that. The library is definitely doing a lot of good things in our community care program. We refer people to their services quite a bit, and I know Gladriel has even went there herself to learn some computer skills that has helped her work for us. So that's definitely some good things happening there. We've been busy planning for events already, greening up the mountains. We're already well into the planning of that. And lots of other events that are coming up, budget preparations, we've been working to. We're still searching for the right officers for our team. We've got a couple openings, and that is tough on us, but at the same time, we are very conscious of hiring the right people for those jobs and not feeling the pressure of being understaffed and just hiring somebody. We're not going to do that. We're definitely in the middle of finding the right folks. So we are seeing an increase in the last probably month. We've had more people come in that want to go to basic law enforcement training than I think I've seen. So hopefully that is a sign of things to come in the future. Hopefully the pendulum's kind of going the other way and maybe we'll have lots of applicants like it used to be. We'll see. On March the 4th, Western Carolina University is holding a community care symposium. It's a one-day event. Basically, as you guys know, the community care program is catching on statewide, and a lot of agencies want to adopt that plan. They just printed a manual for it to help agencies take on this I guess method or co-responder model. And so they only invited Asheville West, and I think we've got over 20 agencies that are signed up already to be there. So it's definitely something that's gotten a lot of interest, and it'll be a good day for sure. We graduated one from Via's crisis intervention team training this week or this month, which is a good thing. That's a goal of ours to get everybody through that training. It's really tough schedule wise, and also the schools, they schedule these schools and for whatever reason, they get canceled a lot. So that's been a frustration for me as long as I have been here, is trying to get people through that training. So we got one graduated from it, so that's good. Lieutenant Robbie Carter for us taught a block of that. Was kind of an honor. They called him and asked him to do that. So that was good. And so we had a department meeting, and Josh Geiger is a canine handler for us. He was voted on by the other officers and the staff at the police department. He's awarded the Officer of the Year, and the Supervisor of the Year is Lieutenant Carter. So you may have saw that stuff on Facebook. So that's good stuff. This coming Tuesday, there's going to be a North Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Program press event at the library. I'll be speaking at that. If you want more details about it, I can get it to you. And we also, on January 26th, we had Blitz was at our department for a big chunk of the day, and we appreciate that. And hopefully that was helpful for you to see how things work. So thank you for doing that. Stuff you folks have to make some really tough decisions, and so to understand what's going on, really what's going on has got to be helpful for that. So thank you for doing it. Let's see. So we always attend a lot of community partner meetings. That's a monthly thing for us always. But this month, last month or so, we had some particularly important ones with some problems in our community, trying to keep things going, accomplish some goals, and had 2 community care roundtable meetings. Those are meetings where we have people, mental health, housing, every addiction services. Everybody kind of comes together and networks and helps us. It supports Galadriel's work, but it also supports the police's work in the same way, to get everybody together on the same page. The Jackson County Emergency Planning Committee meeting, we go to that. They have about every quarter. We attended that, of course, participate in that. And on the community policing side of things, our night shift officers, both our night shifts came in and did a big thing with our local Cub Scout pack and helped them get their criminal justice back. So that was a big deal for them. With our canines in, and then some fingerprinting and learn about DNA and all kinds of stuff. So that was a good time. And just a real quick rundown of some of the calls for service we've had. Like I said, basically this year, we've investigated over 20 like larceny, shoplifting type situations, 170 traffic stops, 75 traffic crash investigations, helped 20 stranded motorists stuck on the road somewhere, 58 alarm investigations, 15 of our business surveys. We talked about that in a former meeting. That's something brand new. 4 calls where someone was discharging firearms in the town. Or at least that's what was reported to us. 44 disturbances or fights, 16 domestic dispute investigations, 12 health and welfare checks, 9 involuntary commitments. Dave, I threw this one in here just for you. 8 calls of livestock in the highway or animal complaints, which is usually livestock in the highway.
Gotcha.
So we had 4 calls where we had attempted suicide, non-overdose related, but attempted suicide situations. We had 39 reports of intoxicated drivers, 52 suspicious persons, 26 suspicious vehicles, and 6 vandalisms or property damage, and 36 situations where somebody wanted the person removed or was trespassing. That's just kind of the high spots of everything. You may have any questions?
Thank you very much. Okay, report from our fire chief.
Morning. I'd like to start off by saying we have a new employee as of today, a new firefighter, Alan Orcutt. He filled the daytime job that we were advertising. Started this morning at 8 o'clock. So we'll see how that goes.
It's gonna go well.
What time is
That
it
was
now?
before it goes to work. Oh, well. Guess it's the same way I said that. That's what happens when you don't think before you speak, you know? Okay, moving on. We've had 192 calls since first year, and that's up about 70 this time last year. So it's been a busy year so far. And then those 192 calls have been 8 structure fires. That's a lot. 5 Narcan administrative, where we actually did it. It's not counting on the police officers and the EMS does. And we've also had 34 in 50s in that same time period. That's where we actually go out. I know PD does a lot more than that. So, I'd say business is picking up. We are continuing to work with DOT on trying to get some more of the houses burned out on 107 for the clearing project. We have one currently with permits sent off. It's the old Lane Hall building. That's where we stand on that. So if any of you want to come to our control burns, you're all more than welcome. Maybe I'll choose my words better. You got any questions? That's really all I got.
How many of those controlled burns will we do along 107? Is there a plan or is it?
I do them as they give them to me. I really can't answer that, Brad, as far as numbers.
Okay.
There's still several to go. I know that, but I don't know the number.
Is there a balance between, I'm just learning how much training we want to do and are we kind of operating as the de facto
Demolition person?
That's why I'm asking.
Actually, we are, yes, but also they're hard to get a house to burn anymore with the environmental regulations, everything that's involved, all the asbestos removal and people willing to pay for that asbestos removal. So they're hard to come by. So we're glad to get any of them we can get. And of course, then we can bring in the other departments in the county to train with us. Used to back in the day, you could get them real easy, but now it's a rare event to get a house, and to get this many is really a rare event. And have this kind of training opportunities. So, yes, we are kind of their de facto demolition person, but still they have to contract another contractor to haul the remains off. So I guess it is saving a little money, but probably not much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank y'all.
Okay. From Main Street.
It's a different agenda, so I'll just do the first part. Okay, great. Well, good morning. Just to add, what Chris mentioned about the governor's highway safety program, that press event will be Tuesday at 10 o'clock at the library. You guys are all invited to attend. Basically, we got involved with this project because they felt like Jackson County would be a good partner to work with to kind of educate our permit holders and their customers, considering we have a social district. So we kind of took it a step further. We engaged with those permit holders and educated them and gave them some tools that they could pass on to their customers about drunk driving and planning ahead. But also going in with Western Carolina University, we engaged with the student team who actually did a research study with student attitudes about drunk driving and transit needs. So it's an ongoing process. They're going to be at that event too to talk about their findings. So it'll be really interesting. So I'd invite y'all to attend. Bringing Up the Mountains Festival, vendor slots are currently full. We're still accepting applications to add to the wait list. Pottery and jewelry are full, and we won't be able to accept any more applications in those categories. DOT 107 update. NCDOT provided us with an updated project plan with the caveat that the specifics will change depending on utility setbacks and other factors. But that has been posted to the website, as well as the article that Dave worked on with some interns, kind of dispelling some of the myths that's been out there. And we're about halfway through with frequently asked questions that we're adding to the website. So we have the technology there already that August, our outsourced person, set up for us, so we can populate that as soon as it's done. And Brad's been providing me with some public feedback to address citizen concerns. So the 107 team is also working on a plan for signage that will support the businesses and demonstrate that they're still open through the construction phase. And then finally, we created the Friends of the Main Street program that's available on the Main Street Sylva.org site. And with the help of the promotions committee, it's designed to engage folks, individuals, families, and businesses in the Main Street program. Volunteers can earn cool swag by the number of hours that they volunteer. And they can sign up at that website. So I would encourage you to check it out, spread the word. Do you guys have any questions on any of that? Thank you.
A TV, sponsor report.
Yes, so first, I attended my first TWASA meeting as a board member on Tuesday. TWASA is doing their annual meeting March the 5th. I sent you all I attached a letter from TWASA. Please let me know if you want me to RSVP for you, if you all are able to attend. But they do an annual meeting and it's with all the forming entities. There's a social component and then an update of what TWASA has done over the past year and upcoming projects. And the horse pasture project didn't receive any bids, so they're working on that. That's all I have for the TWASA report.
And Pinnacle Park report.
Jake Howard was going to attend, but it doesn't look like he made it. So we'll push that.
So that moves us down the agenda to new business. And there's a presentation for us apparently on Mill Street design.
So I think I sent each of you kind of an overview of the Main Street program and the 4 pillars. This particular plan that we're working on is focused on our design pillar. And we have a great committee of community volunteers who have particular skills in historic preservation, architecture, building, and design. And our board of directors created a 5-year strategic plan for the Mill Street improvements, with the goal to become as vibrant as Main Street is. And it's already on that trajectory. So we're really excited about that. So the mission of this plan is to work toward activating Mill Street to improve the aesthetics, generate more traffic, and build more bottom level retail spaces. Our goals in this plan are to obtain a facade grant that will incentivize property owners to improve their buildings, exploring a technical assistance grant program to assist those property owners in expanding their spaces. We plan on creating a property owner event for meet and greet and resources virtually, and a streetscape improvement plan, and get that funded as well. So one of the things that the North Carolina Main Street program provides is a team of graduate students at UNCG who will do facade renderings. And typically they have you fill out an application for just one building at a time. The North Carolina Main Street, one of the regional directors was here for our planning session and got really excited about our program that we were doing on Mill Street, and convinced UNCG to do renderings for all of the Mill Street rear facades, which is pretty much unheard of. So they just completed that. And so we have packets that I'm gonna, I'll just circulate one because it is a lot of information that you guys can take a look at. But what UNCG does is they do some historical data from old Sanborn maps of these buildings. They look at possibilities of restoring architectural features and improving the look overall. So they have lots of different color options and that sort of thing. So this just kind of gives you a sense of before and after that are part of these plans. And you can see even with preserving the brick, there are still things that you can do to clean them up, brighten them up, and improve those even small features. Here's another building on Mill Street that you can see just with simple paint and consistency, and the windows can really brighten it up. And here's another one that just, you'll see a lot of those buildings back there only painted halfway up because that's as tall as the ladders went at one point. But, considering that the rear facades are not as concerned about having the original look like the front, they kind of recommended different things where the paint would kind of blend into the brick and still preserve the brick. So we're really excited about these renderings. And if you want to see any of them, I've got them for every building back there. Our plan is to introduce this to the property owners when we are able to get our full funding for facade grant. We already got $10,000 grant that we can use from the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina. We need about 15 more to offset the cost. So the way the process will work is fill out an application indicating what work they want to do. Once it's completed, they'll submit receipts, and then we'll provide this subsidy grant funding for them to offset those costs. As you can see, there's already been some great improvements on Mill Street, and it's creating momentum. Not only that, but with the public restrooms and the new lights and Ridge Park renovation, it's all kind of coming together. So Ward did an amazing job on the exterior of their building. They kind of set a standard of refreshed look. And then there are several property owners back there who have taken old spaces that were just used for storage, and they renovated them and now are renting them out for office or retail. We estimate that there's probably 6 more potential spaces on Mill Street that could be activated. And so one of the things that we're working on there is the technical assistance grant. I've been working with Odell Thompson to be the service provider for this. The Mill Street side will be pretty easy to do because they're all similar in nature. You're looking at firewalls and a bathroom in the back just to kind of make it ready for retail or office. But we also want to include in that activating some of the upper level spaces to become offices as well. So we're working on how we can make that kind of consistent, and then we'll go after the funding for that. So I mentioned we have 10,000 so far on the building facade grant. We're in the infancy stages for the technical assistance grant program. And one of the things that Commissioner Waldrop and Commissioner Estridge have been helping with is identifying those defunct utilities. That'll kind of be the first step because once we know what they are, as we present that to the property owners, they can remove those before they even start. But all of the designs are meant to minimize or kind of make those utilities look invisible, as you'll see from some of these renderings. And then we'll look at a master design plan for refreshing Mill Street streetscape as well in tandem with that. So those are kind of all of our additional initiatives that we're doing back there. And we're excited to have everyone be a part of that, and the momentum is going. So do you have any questions?
Is there any conversations in all this about possible awnings over sidewalks in front of the, on these businesses where we're doing these projects?
That's an option, and it will be included in the facade grant program. If you'll notice on a lot of those, though, they're mostly architectural features. Mill Street is very shaded and very cold in the winter. And so those businesses kind of like having a little bit of sun out there. It certainly helps the situation. So they focus more on architectural features than they did on awnings. However, this won't be restricted. This program won't be restricted to just Mill Street. So if someone wanted to put up an awning, a new awning, and replace it on Main Street, they would be eligible for that as well.
I can definitely attest to the shadiness of Mill Street. I appreciate all your work on this burn. I did want to say I am proud of the business owners that have taken some steps to make those spaces usable on Mill Street. I think Mill Street's come a long way in the last few years even. And I don't know, There was one picture on here, it's below the wine bar. With the big sliding door, that one. And I don't know if it was intentional, but I know they've already painted that door back there. It's like a solid color, like in that picture.
Yeah, and that happened while they were working on these
wow.
renderings. So that was the original picture that I sent them.
Yeah.
So they've improved that. And you know, that building in particular doesn't have as much of a need now that they've done that, other than, you know, sprucing it up and maybe redoing the windows. But so projects like that can be pretty easy to do.
I just want to share a couple of facts about the Main Street program. So Sylva's gotten a lot of attention through the years for several reasons. For a long time, we were the town with the smallest population that was in the full Main Street program and not in the small town Main Street program. We were also the westernmost town in the Main Street program until a couple of years ago. So we came into the program in 1996, and we also have one of the most recent historic district designations. So the program has been really good to Sylva, and I think these renderings are a testament of some special treatment that I feel like we've gotten that we're grateful for.
For sure. And I'll mention the historic district enables a lot of those contributing building owners to get historic tax credits to renovate their buildings, up to 40%, because we're in a tier 2 county. So I've been working with 2 building owners on that, but we're hoping to work with more of them as they get an interest in improving their buildings, and that could significantly offset the cost. Anything else?
Thank you. I've been proud of the thing you do.
Oh, thank you.
I have a few.
Sure.
It's kind of like a series of questions, and you stop me if it's too mean. We should take it offline. But how was the $25,000 total budget arrived at? I mean, just from a scope standpoint, we're talking about painting, and in some cases, maybe retrimming windows, but probably
Right.
not replacing windows, obviously, because for 25 grand, it just doesn't go very far.
Well, they can still do that. And, you know, we're working out with the design committee, what the cap will be on what they can apply for. A lot of that depends on the number of applications that we get. And when you get that grant funding, typically, like for the first round, we only have a year to use that. And they really frown on you giving it back. So there's this tipping point where you have to like not ask for too much, but ask for enough to be able to services.
Is that divvying up of the grant typically per building?
Yes.
Okay.
And it can also be as a percentage of the total cost of construction. So the design committee is prepared to look at that from that perspective and make those decisions.
Also per building. So if one building did more,
Right,
needed to do more, they could potentially get a larger share of
exactly.
the overall. Okay.
And with the historic tax credits for really big projects, we can help them with that. We've looked at possible a revolving loan fund that we can have in place. So when we have this property owner meeting, we can have all those things either in place or in process so that they'll know what their options are.
Awesome. You may have already sent this, so my apologies. Can we get a copy of those renderings in email?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you already send it? Just so
No, I did
okay.
not.
Makes me
There's a
feel
lot
good
of
that
them.
I haven't missed something.
Right. They're PDFs, so I might have to send them
Separately.
a few at a time, just so it doesn't clog up your mailbox as much, but.
Yeah, I know several of the building owners, so I just thought it might be cool to, I don't even know if they've seen them, right?
No, they haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are the first, and I would love the help in, you know, the relationship with those building owners and kind of creating the buzz around it.
And one building owner specifically, this is my last question, asked if the facade grant might cover something artistic like a mural.
So that's a different strategy. Our public art committee is working on that. So we do have some money in place and some potential grant funding for art projects. So they should just contact me if they're interested. And that committee will look at, you know, their projects that they have and try to help them out.
So not likely the facade grant specifically, but there are
Right.
other, okay, gotcha.
Yep. Anything else?
But it,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon.
Okay, if somebody's going to speak about the proclamation for appreciation.
Yes, so Julie Donaldson celebrated 25 years with the chamber last week. And we did a proclamation that Mayor Phillips signed and Bernadette presented to her while we were at the Essentials in Municipal Government class. So you've got you have a copy of that included just for your information, since we already presented it and didn't need board action. But it was from the council as a whole.
So,
And it was a surprise, which is why we didn't bring it to you before. So,
I would like to add that Julie has been absolutely instrumental, greening up the mountains, Christmas parade, a whole lot of other intangible things, the chamber, concerts on the creek. Chamber does a whole lot of stuff that makes the town look very, very good. I want to be on the record appreciating her publicly also. She's fantastic.
okay, special event request, Innovation Brewing at Greening Up the Mountains. I understand this is a permit for them to serve beer over at Bridge.
Yes,
Park
it's
at
for
Greening Up Mountains.
for the beverage arts portion of the Greening at the Mountains Festival that happens on the grass at Bridge Park.
You need a motion and vote to do
Yes.
Quick question, is it I see that there's a Balsam Falls and Innovation, or is it just Innovation together?
No, not for you.
that. Or is just one permit?
Yes.
So, I've entertained a motion that we approve the application for a special event permit for Innovation Brewing in conjunction with Greening Up the Mountains. Somebody got motions? I don't have a motion. Do we have any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign, and the motion carries. Rescheduling the March planning board meeting to March 21st, 2024 at 5 o'clock. You need a motion to vote for that as well?
Just moves it up a week.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have any discussion? No discussion, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed by like sign, and the motion carries. So now we'll be moving on to, I would entertain a motion that we move into closed session for counsel with our attorney and personnel matter.
Pursuant to General Statute 143, 318, 11A3, and 11A6, I make a motion that we go into closed session to consult with our attorney and for personnel.
Any discussion on that? All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign, motion carries. This one, we would ask anyone that's not a board member or staff or our attorney to